to Maths Made Simple with Miss Gamu. Today is a special day. We have reached 100 subscribers and 104 to be exact. I just want to thank you all for all the people who have subscribed, and I want to give a special shout out, whoop whoop, to all the students in Aludio Academy for subscribing, liking, benefiting from this amazing channel. You are the reason why I do this content, so that you guys can ace your maths, and maths does not need to be complicated. It is simple if you apply the rules. So today we're just gonna jump into our topic for today. So today our topic is operations with decimals. Alright, so today what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the four main pillars of mathematics, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and how they apply to decimals, because it's slightly different from the way that you just do them normally. But for you to be able to do them, you need to just apply a few rules that will just make it very simple. Okay, so let's jump in with the first one. So when it comes to this one, or when it comes to addition and subtraction, the key rule is this: align the decimal point. All right, so if we look at this question, that is 12.78, you align the dot. So I'm just going to put the dot, then I put the numbers behind on the right side of the dot and on the left side of the decimal point. So we have 6, 7, 5 here, and this side we've got 4, we've got 3, and we've got 2, and we add our addition sign. All right, so now that we've aligned the decimal points, we just add normally as we would. So nothing plus 5 is 5, 8 plus 7 is 15. Now 1 plus 7 is 8, 8 plus 6 is 14, carry 1 there. Dot plus dot, or decimal point plus decimal point, is decimal point. I always do that so that I don't forget my decimal point. So 0 plus 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 4 is 7. All right, 1 plus 3 is 4 there, and nothing plus 2 is 2. So answer becomes 247.455. So the same rules apply to subtraction. You're gonna just write your number there. That's 150.09. Align your dot. I'm just gonna put my dot first. I'm gonna put 90 for that number and 77 for the other part of the digit. Put our subtraction sign and do our number normally. All right, 9 minus 0 is 9. All right, 0 minus 9 we cannot in this circumstance, so we need to borrow. We can't borrow from this guy because this guy is already 0, so we borrow from the other neighbor. So that neighbor, if I use a different color there, if we borrow, the neighbor becomes 4, and this guy becomes 10. But still we need to borrow from this guy. So this guy we borrow again, and this guy is now 9, but now this guy is 10. So now 10 minus 9 is 1. Dot minus dot is dot there. 9 minus 7 is 2. 4 minus 7, it can't in this circumstance, so we borrow again from this guy. So now that becomes 14. 14 minus 7 is 7. So answer is 72.19. All right, now when we jump over to multiplication and division, the rules flip a little bit. So maybe let me use a different color to just show how the rules flip. So one thing is this: instead of us aligning the dots, we ignore the decimal point totally or completely. So now if I write my number, I'm just gonna write 6,523 instead of 65.23, and instead of 3.8, I'm just gonna write there 38. Then we multiply normally. If you're still struggling with multiple digit multiplication, please check on this channel for how to multiply, and it is very simple. I teach multiple methods for you to understand, but the method which is common for most of my students, we call it the last and last. So I want you to follow along. So now we start with our 8, and we're gonna say 8 times 3 is 24. That's the 4 there, and we carry the 2. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus the 2 we carried becomes 18. 8 carry 1. Now 8 times 5 is 40. Plus the 1 we carried becomes 41. That is 1 and we carry the 4 there. 8 times 6 is 48. 48 plus 4 becomes 52. Alright, and we move on to the 3. But before we do that, we always put a placeholder. The reason behind that is because you are now dealing with the other place value. The 3 is in the tens place value. That's why we put a placeholder. So more information is on the other video. Alright, so we now deal with the 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. Notice I'm aligning the numbers as I'm going. 3 times 5 is 15. That is 5. Carry a 1. Then 3 times 6 is 18. Plus 1 is 19. Alright, then we add. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 9 is 17. Carry 1. 1 plus 1, 2. Plus 6, 8. 2 plus 5, 7. 9 plus 5, 14. 1 plus 1, 2. Alright, so now we're not done with our sum. We need now to put back those decimal points we ignored. So how we do that, we count how many decimal points are on the right side of this sum. So if you look at the decimal point there, we see that we have 1, 2 for that sum. Then here we have 1. So 2 plus 1, in total, there are 3 decimal points. So starting from the right, we're going to count. Let me take another color there. We're going to count 1, 2, 3. So now our decimal point goes there. So now our answer is 247.874. Alright, so just a recap. You ignore the decimal points, multiply normally, and when you're done multiplying, you add the decimal point back by counting how many decimal points. Sometimes you might have 2, sometimes you might have 3, but it's always key to understand that. Alright, so now we go finally to division. So with division, it's the same rule again, where we ignore our decimal points. So this becomes 625 divided by 25. One thing I really want to emphasize is this. Whenever you are dividing your decimal points, if the decimal points is equal, basically it cancels out itself. How do I mean it cancels out itself? If we were to multiply this decimal point by 100, it was going to be 625. This one was just going to be 25. So now, because they're both having one decimal point, they cancel out themselves. So that means that the answer we're going to get is not actually going to be a decimal. So now it's just a clean division. And here we're using our short division. And if you still don't understand your short division or long division, on this channel, there's a video on how to do your long division or short division. All right, so cool. Let's get into this. So 25 goes into 62 how many times? It goes into 62 2 times. All right, put the small 2 there. But now, what is the remainder? So we know that 25 times 2 is 50. 62 minus 50 is 12. So the remainder is 12. All right, maybe just for us not to be confused, I'm going to put that 2 here. Now we ask ourselves, how many times does 25 go into 125? We know that 25 goes into 125 5 times, and that is our answer, 25. All right, so if this question was slightly different, if this question was 6.25 divided by 2.5, the key thing I really want you to notice is this. We have 2 decimal points here. We have 1 decimal point here. You're just going to say 2 minus 1. The answer will have 1 decimal point. If it was having 3 and this was having 2, 3 minus 2, 1 decimal point. That's the key when it comes to division. Division, you always look at the decimal points. If they are the same, they cancel out each other. This answer will not have a decimal point. But if it's 2 and this one is 1, you just say 2 minus 1. If it's 3, this one is 2, 4, 2, you get the point. All right. So I really want you to revise, take time to watch this video, write your notes down in your notebook, and master these concepts. One of the things that happens in mathematics, for you to be able to capture a concept, is constantly repeating, constantly practicing, and practice makes permanent. I hope you enjoyed it, and it's a celebration over here. Thank you so much for 100 subscribers. See you in the next one.